Welcome back to the deep dive. This time we're diving deep into self-improvement and personal magnetism with Amber Lyons' book, You Are a Magnet.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's
Thank
less
you.
of a how-to and more like a how to think about your journey,
I like that. A different perspective.
Exactly. So are you ready to uncover that magnetic self?
Absolutely. I'm ready. One thing that really struck me about Lyon's book is how she blends psychological insights with spiritual wisdom.
Yeah.
It makes it a very relatable guide for personal transformation, I think.
Yeah.
It's not just about attracting all the good stuff, but it's about actually becoming the kind of person who just naturally attracts what they want.
That's such a good point. And she jumps right into it.
Yeah.
The book tackles fear, like right away.
Oh, wow.
And Lyon, she urges us not to believe every thought that pops into our heads.
Easier said than done.
Right. It's so easy to get trapped in those negative thought spirals.
Totally.
But she reminds us that our thoughts, they're not always the truth.
So true. It's like, whoa, mind blown. This is where her idea of an emotional baseline comes in.
Okay, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What is an emotional baseline?
So Lyon describes it as that emotional state we tend to kind of like default to.
Interesting.
The one we return to most often. And this baseline, it really shapes our experiences.
All right.
And even what we, invite into our lives.
So let's unpack this emotional baseline a bit more. How do we even know what ours is? Like, what does that look like?
Okay. So imagine plotting your moods on a graph throughout the day.
Okay.
Where would the line average out?
Okay.
Would it be up in the optimistic zone or down in the worry zone? You know what I mean?
I get it.
That gives you a clue about your baseline.
Got it. So let's say, hypothetically, my baseline is more on the anxious side. Can I, actually change that?
Absolutely. Lyon offers a bunch of practical techniques.
Okay, good.
One that I found really helpful is consciously introducing new habits of thought and feeling, even if they feel strange at first. It's almost like retraining your brain to focus on what's possible instead of getting stuck on what's limited.
That's really interesting. It's like learning a new language.
Yeah.
At first, it's all awkward.
Exactly.
But with practice, it starts to feel natural.
Exactly. And that shift in your thinking, it can have a huge impact on what you attract into your life.
Makes sense.
It's like you're emitting a new frequency, and that frequency resonates with more positive experiences.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this all ties in nicely with Lyon's point about nobody having it all figured out,
Oh, yeah.
which I think is so reassuring.
Right.
And she makes this distinction between our true self and our survival self, basically arguing that the roles we take on, to seek love and acceptance, those can actually stop us from expressing who we truly are.
It's really fascinating, isn't it? It's like this survival self is a protection mechanism that we've developed.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Think about those times you've said yes to something you didn't actually want to do.
Oh, all the time.
Right, just to avoid conflict or please someone.
Yes.
That's your survival self kicking in, trying to protect you.
Wow. Okay, yeah. So is Leon suggesting that we just release those survival mechanisms and embrace our true selves, as we are?
Precisely. And she emphasizes that we're constantly evolving.
I love that.
So there's no one right way to be.
Yeah, such a relief. So she also talks about making choices from the present moment, like not getting caught up in the past or, future tripping.
Yeah, it's about letting go of expectations and trusting that each decision,
Right.
even the ones that we label as wrong, they're all part of our own unique growth process.
That reminds me of something she says about making the most of what you already have.
Oh, yes.
Instead of waiting for that perfect moment or some milestone, how do we actually, make the most of what's right in front of us?
Such a good question. So Leon suggests cultivating a sense of appreciation for the abundance that already exists. Like right now in your life, it's about shifting our focus from what's lacking to what we already have.
So instead of saying, I'll be happy when I get that promotion, or I'll be happy when I find the perfect partner,
Right.
it's more about recognizing the good things that are already present,
Yes.
even in the midst of challenges.
Exactly. That shift in perspective, it can make a huge difference.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me.
Okay.
Lyon dives into intuition. She calls it our internal GPS.
I love that.
Me too. But how do we actually tap into that? I feel like so many people struggle to know the difference between intuition and, those fear-based thoughts.
Yeah, it can be tricky. She offers some really great strategies, though.
Okay, good.
One is paying attention to your body's signals. So when you're thinking about a decision, notice how you feel in your body.
Right.
Do you feel a sense of expansion in your chest or a tightening or contraction?
Oh, interesting.
That can be a clue.
It's about tuning into those subtle, like, physical sensations.
Yes, exactly. And another tip is to pause before reacting to situations.
Mm.
Create that little space between something happening and your response. That can help you connect with your intuition.
It's like hitting the pause button before firing off that email that you might regret later.
Yes. Ooh,
Yeah.
okay. Now, Leon also talks about investing in ourselves, and not just, financially,
Yeah.
but energetically. What does that look like practically?
So think of it as like depositing into your well-being account.
Okay.
It's about consistently showing up for yourself and replenishing your energy through self-care. Whether it's a walk in nature, setting boundaries in a relationship that's draining you, prioritizing what truly nourishes you.
That's so important. It's about recognizing what nourishes you and prioritizing it.
Exactly.
I love how she even shares her own personal journey of, reclaiming her power by choosing how to respond to challenges.
Mm.
It's a powerful reminder that no matter our past experiences, we have the power to write a new story for ourselves. Absolutely. And that's just the beginning. Part 2 of the book delves even deeper into cultivating courage. We're talking about feeling lost, accepting change, coping with difficult emotions, all that good stuff.
Yeah, can't wait to dive into that.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Amber Lyons' You Are a Magnet.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned forgiveness last time. That's a tough one for so many people.
Yeah.
What's Lyon's perspective on that?
She frames it as like not just something you do for someone else, but
Mhm.
almost like an act of self-liberation.
Mhm.
Because when we're holding on to resentment, it keeps us tethered to the past, and that, hinders our ability to embrace the present and create a better future for
It's
ourselves.
like carrying around a heavy weight.
Totally.
Forgiveness is like putting that weight down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then you can move forward. Right.
Exactly. And, she also dives into the power of expectations, reminding us that, like, our preconceived notions can actually shape our experiences.
Oh, interesting. So if we're constantly expecting the worst, we're more likely to experience it. Is that what she's saying?
Yeah, it's this whole law of expectation thing.
Yeah.
What we believe is possible, it really impacts the outcomes. Lyon encourages us to really examine those limiting beliefs and adopt a mindset of possibility to create space for new experiences.
It makes you think, right? Okay. This ties into another concept she discusses, trusting our timelines. What's that all about?
Oh, that's a good one. It challenges that societal pressure to, like, adhere to a predetermined schedule for success and happiness.
Yeah.
Lyon argues that comparing ourselves to others is pointless.
We all have our own path, right? Our
Exactly.
own pace. And if you're trying to fit into someone else's mold, that's just a recipe for, like, frustration.
Right. And you end up missing the richness of each moment if you're just rushing through life,
Hmm.
driven by those external expectations. She also emphasizes the importance of living in alignment with our values.
Yeah, but how do we even, like, identify those core values if we've never really sat down and thought about them?
It takes introspection. You got to ask yourself, what really matters to me?
Right.
What principles do I want to guide my choices, my actions? Once you're clear on those values, then can start making decisions that resonate with, your authentic self.
Makes sense. It's like living with intention instead of just reacting to things as they come up.
Exactly. It's about being proactive. Lyon also discusses the power of saying yes to life, embracing new experiences, letting go of that resistance to what unfolds.
So we should just say yes to everything.
Well, no, not exactly. It's more about approaching each moment with an open mind and a willingness to learn and grow.
Yeah.
Saying yes in this context means letting go of control, allowing life to just like unfold organically. And every experience, good or bad, has valuable lessons.
Instead of labeling them as good or bad, it's more about seeing them as, like, opportunities for learning
Exactly.
and growth, right?
Each chapter of life has its challenges,
Yeah.
its opportunities, and they all contribute to our understanding and build resilience. It's about embracing that, the cyclical nature of life. And, she also has this great piece of advice
Okay.
about focusing on one thing at a time.
I feel like that's so important nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with like our culture of multitasking. We're constantly bombarded with distractions, makes it hard to focus on what's really important.
It's true.
So Lyon suggests breaking things down into smaller steps, smaller, manageable goals. It creates a sense of progress and motivation. You don't get so overwhelmed by the big picture.
How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And Lyon reminds us that peace is a choice. even amidst chaos. She really encourages practicing mindfulness
Yeah.
to detach from that mental chatter and find tranquility.
Regardless of what's happening around us, right?
Exactly. Cultivating that inner stillness helps you navigate challenges with clarity and composure.
Yeah.
And it's also crucial to recognize what we already have.
Yeah.
So often we're chasing those future desires. We forget about the abundance that already exists.
The simple things.
Right. Yes. Warm cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset.
The people you love.
Gratitude is so important. Shifting from scarcity to abundance.
What you focus on expands, right?
Exactly. She also encourages us to reconnect with our sense of awe,
Ooh, I like that.
like rediscovering that childlike wonder and beauty in the ordinary.
Yeah. Slow down. Notice the world around us.
Exactly. Pay attention to the details. Cultivating awe expands our perception, rekindles that passion for life.
Right.
And speaking of passion, she reminds us that every moment is worthy of delight.
Instead of waiting for some big event, right?
Exactly. Joy in the everyday experiences.
Like a good reminder.
It really transforms your perspective. Life isn't just a means to an end. It's a journey. And Lyon emphasizes embracing the full spectrum of human emotions.
So not suppressing those difficult emotions.
Yeah, don't suppress them.
Okay.
She argues that doing so actually hinders growth, prevents us from fully experiencing life's richness.
Acknowledge them, process them.
In a healthy way. And choose to see the light in others.
Instead of judgment.
Compassion and understanding. Everyone has their story,
Right.
their struggles. Seeing the good elevates everyone.
Makes the world a better place.
And she reminds us that life is finite. Make the most of our time.
Don't wait. Lives now.
Lyon's book offers so much wisdom.
It really does. Okay, so we've covered a lot today, but there's one final concept we haven't gotten to.
Right.
And that's the idea that small tweaks can lead to massive results.
Powerful stuff, the transformative potential of incremental change.
It seems counterintuitive though, right?
No, we often think we need these huge changes.
Yeah, like a total overhaul.
But Lyon suggests that it's those consistent shifts in our thoughts and behaviors and habits that really create lasting change.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into You Are a Magnet with Amber Lyons.
We've covered so much ground.
We have. From fear and intuition to, forgiveness and embracing the present moment. But you mentioned last time this key concept. Right. That we didn't have time to get to.
Yes, the idea that small tweaks can lead to massive results.
Okay. Give me the rundown.
It's one of the most powerful takeaways from her work, I think.
It seems almost counterintuitive, though, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
We're often told, you need these huge sweeping changes to make a real difference.
Yeah, the big dramatic gesture.
Exactly. But Lyon is saying, no.
Yeah, she challenges that.
Focus on those incremental, consistent shifts.
Right. In our thoughts, our behaviors, our habits.
Okay.
And those actually create the lasting change over time.
Okay, so can you give us an example? What does that look like in our everyday lives?
Absolutely. Think about, just changing your language.
Mm.
Instead of saying, ugh, I'm terrible at this.
Yeah.
Try reframing it as, I'm still learning, but I'm committed to getting better.
Okay, so it's about intentionality.
Exactly. And that one little shift in how you talk to yourself can have a huge impact.
Yeah, on your confidence, your motivation.
Totally. And these small tweaks can apply to any area of your life.
Okay.
So instead of trying to change your entire diet all at once,
Right.
start with adding in one healthy meal a day. Or instead of, signing up for a marathon,
Yeah.
just commit to a walk around the block each day.
See, those small steps feel so much more attainable.
Right. It's less overwhelming.
Because who wants to run a marathon right away?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as you consistently implement these small changes, you start to build momentum.
Yeah.
And it's like this ripple effect.
Yeah.
Leads to bigger changes down the line.
It's like that saying, how do you eat an elephant?
Right.
One bite at a time.
Perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And Lyon reminds us, change rarely happens overnight.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a process. Be patient with yourself. Be persistent.
And give yourself some grace along the way.
Totally.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive into You Are a Magnet, maybe we can distill some of the key takeaways for our listener.
Love that. A little roadmap.
Exactly. So, first and foremost, become aware of that emotional baseline.
Yes.
Understand how that influences our experiences. What are some other things that come to mind?
That distinction between our true self and our survival self.
Right.
Release those protective mechanisms that are holding us back.
Yes, love that.
Present moment awareness.
Being here now.
Exactly. Making choices from that grounded place.
Not stuck in the past, not worried about the future.
Yep. And of course, tapping into our intuition. That inner compass.
It's always there.
Always guiding us.
Okay, what else?
Invest in yourself energetically.
Right. Self-care.
Boundaries. All of that.
Yeah. And remembering that we are the captains of our own ships.
Our own souls, yeah.
We can choose how to respond to those challenges.
We can write a new story for ourselves.
That's powerful.
Forgiveness is huge, too.
Absolutely.
Not just for others, but for ourselves.
Okay, so powerful.
Challenge those limiting beliefs. Embrace possibility.
Our expectations, they shape our reality.
They really do. Trust your timeline.
Right.
Don't compare yourself.
Everyone's on their own journey.
Exactly. And finally, those small tweaks.
They lead to massive results.
Don't underestimate them.
This deep dive has been so insightful.
I've loved exploring this book with you.
Me too. Lyons' book really offers so much wisdom.
It does.
For anyone who wants to live a more conscious, authentic...
Magnetic.
Yes.
Magnet life.
It's a journey of self-discovery, empowerment,
Yeah.
embracing our own power to create the life that we truly desire.
I love that. So to our listener, as you move forward, remember to cultivate that self-awareness, trust your inner guidance, and embrace the journey.
Let your unique magnetism shine.
Until next time, keep diving deep.